Here we go. We are live in the collective. August 23rd, 2020. This is our live weekly training, How to Create an Abundant Life, Part 1, the internal. And this Part 1 is going to be part of two-part series. This week's going to be about internal abundance, because this is, if you look at this from one side or the other, you won't capture the whole picture. This is going to be a really powerful training. Part 1 on internal abundance, creating the shifts necessary within to live abundantly, coupled with next week, Part 2, which is a little bit external, what it looks like to actually act from that place and for it to materialize in your life, bringing abundance into form, which, by the way, doesn't always look like money. So I'm just going to wait a second here while people transition over into the live. If you are here, go ahead and comment for me. Let me know that you're here. And we will get started shortly. I'm going to just check my Wi-Fi. I can see that 4 people are on here and people are continuing to jump on. I can't see any comments yet. So if there are comments, unfortunately, I'm unable to view them. Here we go. Now the comments are coming in. Regina, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for being here. So as you guys are commenting, let me know that you're here. As always, let me know where you're tuning in from. What's up, Gloria? Hello, hello. Yeah, let me know that you're here. Drop a comment below, because I can't see the 7 people who are on until you comment. And it's really good for me to know who's in the space, who's watching, even if you're not going to ask any questions or share within your experience. Really helpful to comment below so I can feel energetically who's in the space with us today. And with that, I would love to invite, for those of you who do know, comment below with any questions that you have. Comment below with any questions that you have. How does abundance show up for you internally, externally? And on this one, what particular challenges maybe have you had in terms of like really getting this concept? It's a little bit nebulous. People talk about this a lot. I like to be quite tangible in many ways. My intention with this particular live training is to equip you with the mindset that I use and the mindset that I coach all of my clients on, that I embed into all of my teachings, all my trainings, and all of my coaching, that I literally think is the formula for not only running a successful business, but living a fulfilled life. This plays out in every aspect of life. And so regardless of what your intention is, whether it's creating abundance, like many of you are probably here because you want to live more abundantly, you want more money in your life, comment yes below if that's true for you. Is it true for you that yes, you would like to create more abundance in your life in the form of money? Comment below if you'd like to create more abundance in the form of perhaps relationship. I'd love to just know, like, what is your priority? Abundance can look like, it can look like love, it can look like money, it can have different faces. My point in this is that the currency of abundance, as I always train on, is trust. I'm going to talk so much today about trust. Whatever is not abundant is not trusting, right? I'm going to talk a lot today about masculine, feminine energies, just like this last post. If you haven't read it yet, I suggest it, right? I'm going to talk a lot about abundant energies, masculine, feminine energies, what this even has to do with abundance. Maybe you're looking so much into money, not realizing that there's an incongruence and an imbalance between the way you're stepping forward, acting, choosing, and trusting in your life. What's up, Emily? What's up, Andrea? What's up, Nicole? What's up, Christopher? What's up, Marissa? Good to see you. What's up, Emily? Orini, good to have you. Jonathan, what's going on, brother? Regina, peace, alignment, confidence, resources, clarity, love, community equals abundance. Gloria, Jonathan, yes. Abundance in all forms. Jonathan's clients, thank you for being specific. Trust, yes. Love that topic. Marissa, hell yes. Abundance in all forms, love and money. Let's do this thing. All right, I feel good. Jonathan, 1 a.m. and not sleeping, so thought I'd dive in live. Good to have you here, brother. Thanks for being here at 1 a.m. I'm going to just really quickly hold an intention for those of you who are watching. Close your eyes or just tune into the energy. Deep breath in. And just hold an intention to bring full trust into your body. Scanning the body real quick. Dropping into the heart. Breathing into the heart. Taking a deep breath into the heart. Just for a moment, witnessing if there is anything arising around your heart that doesn't feel fully trusting. Relaxing into your body, noticing if there's any tension in your body, and just scanning that part of your body. Is there anything in that part of your body that doesn't feel trusting? Do you fully trust that part of your body? Do you trust your body? Just holding a quick collective intention for all of us here today. My intention is for every single person receiving this transmission, this training, to shift permanently into a state of trust within their being. To think, act, behave, and operate from a place of abundance, full unconditional trust, full unconditional safety from their hearts, through their bodies, with their language, in their words, and in all of their actions. Remembering that if we live through the prayer of trust, the only thing we can ever be is abundant. As we trust more deeply, we begin to see our abundance manifest in tangible form. We begin to speak our abundance in tangible form. And just inviting in a process that might be uncomfortable for some of us in this next hour, where any parts of ourselves that are not fully trusting come to the surface to be seen and brought into the light, to be looked at, to be acknowledged, to be loved, to be embraced, and then to be transmuted and transformed into full trust, into full abundance. And so in this way, any parts of us that still live in scarcity consciousness, aka fear-based programming, comes up into the surface to be seen, not to be shamed, not to be pushed away, not to be neglected, but to be loved, embraced, witnessed, integrated into our beings, so that we may choose, we may speak, we may act, we may love from a place of abundance, from a place of trust. We may love our partners, our family members, and the people around us from a place of trust. We may love the people that are hard to love from a place of abundance and trust. We may act with our money and our prosperity from a place of abundance and trust. And we may invite other people to do the same by witnessing the energy of which we are behaving. We remember that this is not just abundance work we are doing for ourselves, but the way we act and choose and speak and behave in this moment and all moments creates an energetic imprint for the entire world, and it demonstrates to others and models to others how they may act. So just deciding and choosing in this moment that anything is possible, that everything is abundant, and that we are going to align with the most abundant possible choices. That we will align with the most abundant possible choices, and that our job, our work here, is to simply purify and clear away any parts of ourselves that don't feel fully trusting, any parts of ourselves that still experience fear, scarcity. They're scared. Scarcity, they are scared. Any parts of us that are scared to fully leap, to fully expand, to fully grow, to fully be seen, witnessed, heard. Allowing all of this to just be present in this space, loving it, appreciating it, giving thanks, giving gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all for being here. Let us begin. So just taking a deep breath in, receiving all of that in your heart. Allowing the vibration of the words to permeate. Allowing yourself to settle and to rest gently in the residual effect of the words. Knowing that if you have chosen to be on this live training today, in many ways, if not in all ways, you actually have chosen to align to a higher frequency of abundance. You have already chosen to align to a frequency of trust, because you are here, because you're listening, because you're receiving openly these words right now. You are willing to do whatever it takes to get to wherever it is you want to go in your life, in your business, in your relationships. You are willing to go into the places of yourself that you are afraid of. You are not here to be coddled or conditioned back into old ways of being or thinking. You have already said, yes, I am all in, I am committed, I'm ready. And this is just a path that you're walking forward into, that you're aligning with. And so just giving yourself gratitude for a moment for being here now. Giving yourself, being grateful for yourself, giving yourself compassion for maybe all the times that you have operated from fear and from scarcity. Remembering and realizing that those were just imprints and conditions which were handed down to you, giving so much gratitude and just recognizing and realizing that whatever was given to you, whatever was conditioned around you, which is still being conditioned through irresponsible languaging, irresponsible marketing, irresponsible leadership, is just a byproduct of manipulation of psychology. And so just with all the sacred power of your heart, saying no to that and realizing that you've already said yes to something different. You've already said yes to a timeline, into a life, into a reality, into a business, which purely operates from trust, which stands as a pillar of light and allows other people to be magnetized to you, to it, to your mission, to your vision. To the extent it and of itself, it becomes irresistible. And through your work, with gratitude towards yourself, the impact aligns so highly with the place of trust that simply through people interacting with you, they begin to trust themselves more deeply. And just giving yourself thanks for good medicine. You don't have to do so much here, that is such good medicine. That's medicine to be really proud of. That you've been taught your whole life to work in a particular way and to follow a certain set of rules and limitations and restrictions that perhaps wasn't true for you, wasn't true for the sensitivity, the innocence, and also the purity, the power, the strength of your heart. And that's okay. That you've always known something was a little bit different. You weren't willing to go by fear-based programming, scarcity, rooted in scarcity. How many of you grew up like me, watching nonprofits use fear-based messaging and marketing to get people to donate? And it didn't feel right in your system. You grew up watching businesses market. You grew up your entire lives until this moment witnessing as politicians use fear-based programming and languaging to try to convince and persuade you to take a particular action. As if they should trust you when they've used fear to manipulate you. They should trust you when they've used fear to manipulate you. Just noticing the incongruency. Recognizing and naming that for what it is, scarcity. That is scarcity. And anything in your life which is still living, operating, speaking, breathing, messaging from a place of scarcity doesn't have any place. And this will feel like a very big decision for a lot of you, whether conscious or unconsciously. This is a very big decision. These are big words. This is a big choice for you. It's time to turn your back on anything that is not operated from the highest place of trust. And to open up to what it is you actually say you want to create. So just taking a deep breath in as we begin to get into this training, receiving that. Noticing as you breathe through this training that you can actually notice the parts in your body that feel wider and more expansive, lighter, bigger. You have more space. Abundance and trust work is about creating space in your body for new opportunity to come in, aka more money to come in. You have to create space. Money can't come into a crowded space in the body. Love can't come into a crowded place in your life. If your life is crowded with lots of different people and suitors and you have leaky energy, of course true love cannot enter. It does not have space in a crowded room. Money is not going to enter the same crowded room. You have to create space to receive your beloved, aka the spirit, the soul of this money, which just like spirit, God, source, wants to support you. Realizing and recognizing this moment that money is God, money is spirit. Money is every bit as spiritual as any other concept or construct that you have placed your trust in up until this moment. And if that feels like it meets resistance in your body, breathing into whatever place in your body, that meets resistance, that money is spiritual. Noticing what it feels like to say that, maybe saying it aloud. Money is spiritual. And how you choose to operate with your money and to decide where you act from with your money is a spiritual act. It's a prayer. It's a prayer in motion. So if you continue to act and behave and to choose from a place of what you are limiting yourself to, taking full radical responsibility for the fact that you are already creating the limitation and the restriction before it ever occurred. You're already placing yourself in a future timeline where you are limited. And in this moment, just taking full responsibility for that, if that's the way that this has been. So many of you will live your lives based upon making decisions from the mantra of, or from the standpoint of, yes, but this is what I can afford, or no, that's what I can't afford. Rather than choosing what is actually exciting and correct for you and feels good. And so when you say, yes, but I can't afford that, you are already assuming that 3-4 months from now, you can't afford that. You have already positioned yourself to result in the limitation rather than choosing to break through it. As if we were going to go to a ceremony or a retreat and say, yes, but I'll never break through that limitation. It's impossible. It's been with me for too long. That's no different than saying, yes, but I'll never have that amount of money. I've had this and been broke for this long. You are what you say you are, and you will be living the life that you say you're going to be living. And so if you speak it, it will be true. And so I'm going to talk a lot today about trust. Abundance is not when I'm ready. Abundance is I'm always ready. Many of you have reached out naturally, organically to me. Every day there are people from this group reaching out, asking what it looks like to do coaching. And you've done this in other respects. You've done this in other parts of your life. You've been led by the trust in your body and your heart into a particular scenario in a situation. Maybe it was even buying a car that you felt really guided, to invest in. Taking a trip that maybe didn't logically make sense, but you felt it in every fiber of your being. And there are a lot of people following this, being led by their excitement, their intuition, their feminine, their body, their hearts, and then letting the logical excuses create limitation because they don't fully trust that masculine aspect of themselves to execute and follow through with consistency on that which feels exciting and internally dynamic to their heart, their feminine. And so when you say, when I'm ready, you're already creating the limitation that you're not going to be ready for a certain amount of time. You're already blocking yourself from receiving money. There are a few very simple things that I want to forever shift within your mind around the concepts and the constructs of money abundance within this training. It is my intention that this will forever and permanently shift this within your heart, that you really get this. This is one of those things. I invite you to forever eradicate from your vocabulary when I'm ready. You're ready now. Otherwise, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here right now if you're not ready? Notice you're creating an incongruency and a conflict within yourself if you're here, yet you're going to tell somebody you're not ready. Right? Everybody who's here in this training is ready to take to the next level. Otherwise, why are you here? Everybody on this training said, I can do anything that they said that they're going to do. If you say you can't, yes, but I can't, then what does that do to not only what your mind believes and is capable of, but also the innocence and the purity of your heart, which knows and trusts in yourself? So I want to pause for various moments and just remind everybody to take a breath. I know that a lot of things will come up in this training for a lot of you. I know I can't see you, So unfortunately, I can't fully engage energetically with what you're experiencing. But everything that is tied to abundance and money is tied to trust. Everything that is tied to trust is tied to conditioning of how we were raised. And this is really, really deep spiritual emotional work. In order to live fully abundantly internally and actually shift this, you have to do some really deep, difficult work a lot of the time. You have to be willing to take some decisive action. And your capacity is to change this is predicated on your willingness to do so. So if you decide you're going to change this will change. Through one decisive action, this will change. Through you claiming what you're worth, this will change. Through you no longer operating from fear and scarcity, this will change. You become abundant when you stop operating from fear and scarcity. You instantly become abundant. You become an energetic match for abundance when you stop operating from fear and scarcity, because you also stop attracting fear and scarcity everywhere in your life. For those of you who say, yes, but I can't afford, all of this, I can't, all of this limitation. You're attracting potential suitors. You're attracting potential clients. You're attracting a potentiality that is rooted in a vibration of fear and scarcity, and other people who say they can't. You can't carry a big vision and mission on your heart with the words I can't anywhere in your vocabulary. So, scarcity is staying safe within the confines of what I can do rather than intentionally looking for ways to break through and create a new can. I'm going to repeat this one. And I wrote down a lot of these notes, so as always, I'm going to share these with you guys after this training. Scarcity is staying safe within the confines of what I can do rather than intentionally looking for ways to break through and create a new can. This is what keeps most people unconsciously stuck in limitation but not understanding why. I'm going to explain why. For those of you who maybe aren't yet picking up what I'm putting down in the words that you need to hear it, and I trust that you're feeling it, but in order to fully allow this to land so this will create a real change in life and the way that you operate, you're going to need to really get this one. So there are some of you thinking in the terms of, I can only invest what I have now, so what can I afford? When you say it's what I can't afford, you're saying, okay, so what I can do is I can only, limitation, I can only invest what I have now, limitation. So what can I, limitation, afford, limitation? I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write down these notes in the comments. And so get this. I can only invest what I have now, so what can I afford? Completely rooted in limitation. And this shows up every area of your life, which leads to you coming from a place of, I will only ever do what I can afford to do. Let this land. I will only ever do what I can afford to do. There's no risk. And so you're keeping yourself within the confines of what you have deemed to be safe, also known as, AKA, affordable. You have keeping yourself within the confines of what you deem to be safe, affordable. And the way to become abundant here is to create unconditional trust that begins with unconditional safety. And the way to feel limitless is to feel safe in the places that you used to feel fear, to live beyond limitations and act intentionally to get there, intentionally choosing to go into the place that you're afraid to go. This is exactly what happens, for example, when we say yes to doing a particular type of ceremony, plant medicine, or anything by this, it doesn't matter the modality. I particularly work a lot with plant medicine, so I'm going to speak to this because it's a very obvious example that's easy to get. When you go into these ceremonies, you know you're going to go into scary places where there's limitation. You know you're going to go into the places the parts of yourself perhaps that you're afraid to go to. So when you say yes to doing that, to sitting in a ceremony, to investing into doing that, and to willing to go through that, I'm willing to go through this process. I'll do whatever it takes to break through these because I don't want to live from limitation anymore. That's what you're saying. And when you go through it and you integrate it, when you choose it and you go through that ceremony, you're literally breaking through the places by having said yes to, you're already doing the work by having said yes to even going into those places. That is the breakthrough. Okay, I trust. And when you go through it, you trust more fully. You start to feel safe in the places that you used to fear. You start to open up. You start to surrender and say, wait a second, it's safe to be here. And the same fucking thing is happening for a lot of you with money, but you don't realize it. You can't see it. When you invest into the coaching program, when you invest into your next timeline, your higher self, when you invest into your business, this is all an extension and an energetic of the potentiality of what you're creating, aka you, your heart, your soul. You're saying yes. And then you get into it and you start to see the return on investment. And the return on the investment in the ceremony is quite spiritual and energetic, and it elapses over time as you embody new parts of you in your life. And with money and with these programs or whatever it is you're going to do that you're not fully trusting, you fully go into it. And when you do go into it, you start to say, wait a second, it is safe to be here. I did do the right thing. I can trust myself. It is safe to be here. I did do the right thing. I can trust myself. I followed my heart and my intuition rather than trying to justify and validate with my mind, my logical masculine side. I allowed my feminine to lead the way. Letting this land. Same thing is true in workshops and retreats, right? Relationships also do this by pushing our boundaries. A lot of us may have escaped and ran away from relationships that have really pushed us in our lives. But guess what? That was one of the greatest ceremonies we ever said yes to. We're continuing this by every day we stay in that relationship, even though it's pushing us and even though it's bringing up all of our fears and insecurities, we're building more trust. We're building our capacity to trust and live from this place of abundant love. Instead of choosing to stay safe within the limitations of our intimacy, we shatter them. So are you going to stay safe within the limitations of what you think you can or can't do and hold yourself back from the places that you're afraid of being at? And if you're afraid of being it, then just be honest with yourself. Don't pretend would be my advice. If you're not ready to go into the places of parts of yourself that you're afraid of, then don't say then don't pretend you are. This is real talk. That is why you're still living in scarcity. If you are afraid and if you're honest with yourself, even if you're by yourself watching this live training, you say, I am actually afraid to go into those places. For a lot of you, if there are a particular, even plant medicine ceremony, workshops, retreats, relationships, if you're afraid to go into the depths of those, you're probably afraid to invest into coaching or some part of yourself that's going to help you evolve or to help you to build your business or whatever the thing is. Why? Because the energetic imprint is exactly the same. At the end of the day, you're afraid to go to the places, the parts of yourself that you're afraid of. You're afraid of what you're going to find. Beautiful, Sonia. Yes, one of my clients. Definite increase in receiving through trust for me. Beautiful. I feel that. That's true for you. And so another example, of course, with plant medicine ceremony, workshops, retreats, relationships, when you invest in coaching, because this is the easiest example of this, you are saying, I trust completely that I'm investing in a future where I operate easily from this financial perspective. And whether or not it's in my bank account now, I have unwavering trust that it will shift into a new energy of allowing, receiving, and deserving. I repeat, I trust completely. I'm going to put this in the comments, because I would be happy if some of you even took this into your life, this mantra. I trust completely that I'm investing in a future where I operate easily from this financial perspective, and whether or not it's in my bank account now, I have unwavering trust that it will shift into a new energy of allowing, receiving, deserving. Notice when you say these words, how much more expansive they are than, I can only invest what I have now, so what can I afford? Let me look for the good deal. I will only ever be able to do what I can afford to do. Instead of, I trust completely, unconditionally. It doesn't mean I'm not afraid. Abundance is knowing that you are scared and doing it anyways. That's how you break through the fear. If you want to be limited by the fear, choose from the fact that you're scared and you're afraid, and then choose not to do something. If you want to break through it and shift into abundance, look at the parts of your life where you're afraid and you still feel scared, and do it, but be gentle with yourself, knowing that it's normal to be afraid. It's normal to be scared. But you're no longer choosing to choose and act and decide from that place of fear and what you can or can't do. So I trust completely that I'm investing in a future where I operate easily from this financial perspective, the future perspective, not where you are now. You're already operating from a quantum potentiality, not a current limitation. You're already operating from a quantum potentiality of what you already feel in your body to be true. This is why when we do quantum work, why do you think these things come to us? Because it literally dissolves time and moves us to a future timeline where something else is already true. And then we start taking action to catch up to it. Just taking a deep breath. There's a lot here. I can feel it too. A lot moving. So just taking a deep breath, everybody. So really good thing that Andrea, I know there are a lot of you who have gone through this experience. In fact, I'm talking to some of you right now who have gone through this experience. So I'm going to speak to it, Andrea. She said, it does come down to having invested in many things that truly fell flat for me. So now I'm very discerning of what I spend my money on. Discernment is good, Andrea. There's a difference between discernment and sabotage, discernment and mistrust. So just notice for yourself, because I was talking to, there's somebody else on the channel I was talking to earlier, and I told this person, you know, I've also invested into things that haven't panned out. But what story do you create? Relationships as well, for sure, right? Investment that leads to pain and loss. Beautiful. I was just about to say that, Andrew. It's like this shows up in all areas of our lives. Me too. How hard is it to trust to let yourself open back up to love after you've been heartbroken? How hard is it to open yourself back up to trusting yourself? This is about trusting yourself, not what you're investing in or who you're investing in, Andrea. Everybody, please get this. It's about trusting yourself. Are you trusting yourself to open up your heart? Because basically you're saying, when I opened myself up to receive, I got hurt. Last time I trusted myself and I thought I was right, I went with it and then I got hurt and I left heartbroken. And so I'm going to close down and not trust myself again. And you have to really fight to stay in the frequency of trust, but that is also abundance. Your body knows the truth when it comes to discernment. Your heart knows the truth. Your mind cannot logically discern, but your body can. Your heart can, your intuition can, your gut can. This is about trusting the feminine. And so I want to speak to this for a second. Abundance is trust within. I'm talking about trust within. This is internal. Trust within, following your intuition, your body, your heart over your mind. Please let this be the one thing you get. So when your mind presents you questions in the process of decision making, what happens is you look for a validation of what your body already knows. If you meet a person, you know right away. So it's not really love at first sight. It's love at first feeling. Your body knows. If you know you're meant to work with somebody, you know. If you know you're meant to be in a certain car, right? When I'm going to post this week, this was 2 years ago, I bought my car, my BMW, and it's like I knew. There was no logical thing behind it, but I knew and I trusted. And I did it before I was ready, because I went from the mantra of I'm always ready. I have to be ready before I'm ready if I'm ever going to get there. The same is true with love. The same is true with business. The same is true with growth. And so if you're in the decision-making process, for any of you who are deciding on these next steps in your life, who are deciding on whether or not what step you want to take, how you want to build your business, where you're going to go, relationship, whatever the thing might be, when your mind presents you questions and you're falling into the temptation of the mistrust because you feel like you've been hurt, and so you're healing that heartbreak and coming back from a place of fear into trust, receiving and opening up to allowing love again, to allowing money again, to allowing support. By the way, when those of us who are being discerning about what we invest in, if it's fallen flat, even if it's a stock investment or anything else, you're opening up to allow and to receive love, receive and allow money, receive and allow support. It's the same energetic. If you're closed to receiving love in your life, you're also probably closed down to receiving support in terms of coaching or mentoring or anything else. And so in this process, if you're looking for validation of what your body already knows, here's the key for many of you so you can identify it. Yes, it's exactly what you needed to get where you are now. Yes, it's your judgment of yourself as being foolish or taking that as the block. Yes, Regina. And I have another client, I don't know if she's on here now, another private client who's in this group, who came from this group, who I mentioned last time was in the process of trying really hard to get something to sell, a program to sell, because she She wanted somebody, another business coach or whoever it was that she bought this thing. Okay, build out your funnel, build this thing, and then sell it in this way. And so she was trying really, really hard to sell the thing simply because that was, she trusted herself and she was trying to force it to be a particular way, to sell in a particular way, to justify logically that she was right for making the investment in the first place, to make up for the investment so that she didn't feel foolish or taken. Just like you said, Regina, so you're healing a trust issue with yourself. Don't externalize this and project this upon another. You were the one who chose, right? We were the one who chose. And many of you know, I feel I invested even recently in a program that wasn't for me. And I was the one who chose that. So it wasn't right for me in that moment. I chose that. That's my responsibility. And so I had to then heal the relationship with myself, not the person of, oh, okay, I trusted this. And it immediately created a shift. And then it opened me up to exactly the perfect person at the perfect time with the perfect medicine and the perfect evolution. And here we are. So you choosing to act is you choosing to heal whatever you don't trust. You choosing and being decisive to act, you can't heal that from inaction. Trust is everything. Yes, Kali, trust is everything. So as I was saying, if you traditionally lead with I did a post on this for those of you who want to dive deeper into this, but I want to touch on a point I didn't put in the post. If you traditionally lead with the masculine, I'd love to know if you guys could comment below. Do you traditionally lead with the masculine or the feminine? Just comment below. Yes, Andrea, very much. I will say explicitly I have blocks around being coached and receiving/learning. And so that's your breakthrough, Andrea. Your breakthrough would be to enter into the coaching program, right? Your breakthrough would be to say, I'm explicitly saying those are my blocks. I'm choosing to trust and to break through them. I trust that I'm going to do the work necessary. And I trust that this person is going to be the perfect person at the perfect time. That's your breakthrough. Your breakthrough is not going to be through contemplation, Andrea. You already know your block. A lot of you will try to create breakthrough through contemplation and you'll stay in inaction for so long. And it will actually perpetuate procrastination, which actually ends up reinforcing the block itself, ironically. So I'm asking you, what do you say you traditionally lead from, the feminine or the masculine? Andrea says the feminine, Trumas the feminine, Kali the feminine, okay? Just keep commenting below, the feminine or the masculine. Yes, Regina. I lead with the feminine breakthrough. I lead with the feminine creative and then don't trust my masculine structure support. Exactly. Yes. Whew. Huge for you. Right? This is the whole thing. And so you have to continue to stand in the fire, Regina, of I'm here to heal this relationship with the masculine. I trust the masculine. Right? It's interesting, you and I have worked together now, like through the strategy session, because you're already choosing it, but you have to fully choose it. You have to fully choose it, right? Yeah, huge breakthrough for you. The healing and the integration of that masculine energy is going to be the completion of the loop, and it's also going to be the breakthrough in terms of money, success, impact. Huge for you. Kali, I need more masculine action, okay? Kali, trusting yin and yang. Marissa, masculine, it's my go-to, but I'm wanting to shift to leading from the feminine. We're already doing that, my friend. Emily, all about that alignment, yes. Hafida, both I bring it together. Beautiful. Chip, masculine because I get things done. Feminine in the way I'm shy about promoting myself. Not necessarily feminine in the way that you're shy. I love that you share that, so we can go into that. Not necessarily always. Andrea, ironically, I am a life coach myself. Not ironic at all, Andrea. However, ironic in the sense that you're probably struggling to receive consistent income, and the abundance that you deserve, that you are worthy of, because how would you? If you don't trust yourself to invest, if you have a mistrust of investing in coaching and learning, then yes, ironically, you need to do that, because how would you have clients that are going to invest in you and trust you? You're going to receive that reflect. That's going to be a very big challenge until it's not, right? You have to take action to change that. Sonia, traditionally masculine, more lately feminine, leads masculine. It's all about the both sides trusting each other. Just made a post about this. Yes, Regina, you know I'm here for you. I really encourage you. Just step in and up on that. Sonia, I will reflect because you've been my client for some time now. You do this so beautifully. I would say you used to leave so much with the masculine, and I see this so much in you. So I'm glad I have this opportunity to reflect this to you of how beautiful it is to witness you lead with your feminine and to be so balanced. Kali, I had a shadow on trusting both feminine and masculine. But Andrew, the programs I've taken and invested in to certify me or get me ready to take on that path shit me down, shut me down. The actual instructor told me that I wasn't ready, which she had no idea. Yeah, so there you go. You named it. Regina, I know I'm working through exactly what I will be able to show up and help my clients with. Beautiful. I'm struggling to even put myself out there in any capacity for monetary return. Yes, you're struggling to put yourself out there, Andrew, because you're not trusting. And so you already are imprinting the energetic, you're already projecting an energetic imprint on anybody who would even think about. You already know, it's like you've already kind of canceled out the opportunity before it's even ever there. You're counting yourself out. I agree. I think for sure you're going to open up to hit the ground running. Thank you. I don't know what that means, Emily. Mel's answer is the feminine. So here you go. If you traditionally lead with the feminine, your job is to lean into your masculine and take action. We just kind of went through that naturally. Just step forward and bring forward what's within you courageously and confidently, and to trust that. To trust that. To be decisive and to heal the relationship with the masculine and to trust that. Now, if you traditionally lead with the masculine, aka me, obviously, all of my life, and this is why I had to heal so much with the feminine. It's why I use such feminine medicine to heal my heart around this. My job was, and your job is, if you lead with the masculine, to lean into the feminine, to tune into what your body is telling you and to trust it. And every opportunity that presents itself, don't look to your masculine to validate or confirm it. Trust your intuition and follow it. Don't you tell yourself why you can or can't do something based on logical reasoning. Follow it, and you will follow the intuition and trust it, and you will learn to trust your feminine. Follow your structure, your execution, your leadership, your action, your decisiveness, your courage, your confidence. Trust that, and you will trust your masculine. And this is how we heal and bring into balance. Abundance within is the balance of the masculine and the feminine in terms of energy and embodiment. Abundance within is the balance of the masculine and feminine in terms of energy and embodiment. And so the key to creating abundance is to choose yourself from a place of absolute trust and follow through with action. The feminine, to choose yourself from a place of absolute trust. Andrea, choose yourself from a place of absolute trust and follow through with action. For those of you who are leading with the feminine, you might be able to choose yourself from a place of trust sometimes. But then you don't follow through with action. You have no consistency and you wonder why you don't have any results. And for those of you who are leading with the masculine, it's very hard for you to choose from that place of absolute trust because you don't trust the feminine, you don't trust your heart, you don't trust the intuition. And so you're in the overacting, the overdoing, but not tuning into what is actually true. Yeah, Emily, I would just okay, see, that was just you speaking to Andrea. Yeah, I don't know if you two know each other or what is happening there. I would say there are a lot of perceptions around the meaning of life. But thank you for sharing that. So I want to touch into this piece around worthiness for a second because I know this is true for a lot of you. Most of abundance for a lot of people is around worthiness, right? And how this plays out, because I like to bring this into the tangible, I'm only worthy of X amount of money, but anything over that is too much. I'm only worthy of this, but anything over here is too much. And so the act of playing it safe is actually providing a false sense of security and an illusion that you were ever separate from those who claim more. If I'm saying I'm worthy of this amount of money up here, and I feel that, this is why all of the money affirmation work in the world isn't going to work. If you say, I would call it in $416,792.15. I've done all of this before, right? If you do that at just the mental level, but you don't feel worthy of that, it's going to mean nothing. If you don't feel worthy of what it is you're claiming, it's going to mean nothing. And so how you shift this is by claiming what you're worth. But you have to take action to represent and reflect that level of worthiness. Right? I've known a lot of people. I've known a lot of people who have said, I'm a vibrational match, I'm a frequency match for everything up here. But then lacking the action taking to follow through and actually say, I'm worthy of this and I'm going to do something about it, and here's what I'm calling in. There's an incongruency. There's not a match there. Kali, yes, mine is the understanding of the action after I have intuition to action. It is still all about trusting. I'm enough for the universe to support me. Right. Where do we falter in trust? That is where the work is. Can we act from the place that we don't trust? When you decide to take an action, as soon as you decide to take the action, you are saying that you trust that even more, even if it's scary, even if you're afraid, even if your story is that you don't trust it. Even if your story is you don't trust your masculine or you don't trust the masculine, if you act in a way that says, I'm going to start my journey of healing that level of mistrust, you have already initiated it. So something is already changing. It has everything to do with abundance. And so I want to go into one last piece here to close this training. This is a newsflash. And for some of you, this will be the wake-up call that you need and the invitation that you need. And so for the 15 of you watching right now, I invite you to really soak this in and take a deep breath first. This will be the breakthrough. You've chosen exactly the life you're living right now. You've chosen it. You've chosen exactly the life you're living right now. The life you are living is a representation of the choice and a culmination of the choices you've made. So if you don't love it, don't shame yourself for the choices you've made. Make a new choice. Choose a new life. You're saying you want a different life, but you're still taking old actions and making decisions from a place of fear. How do I know that? Because you're still saying that there's parts of scarcity that you acknowledge. You're still saying, I can't. You're still basing and rooting your decisions in a place of fear of what is rather than the potentiality of what can be. You're not taking the leap. So you're saying you want a different life, which you could live in the potentiality of over here, but you're still taking old actions. So why do you think this is happening? You're holding yourself in old patterns. Decide only from what your heart guides you to do. Don't take these actions rooted in the fear or scarcity. And don't listen, please, don't listen to leaders who try to convince you or persuade you to act by playing off of your fear. And like I said before, this is the old paradigm for politicians, marketers, nonprofits, now even coaches. You are not just here to build a business or shift your life. You're here to decide what energetic you're investing in. I know that for a lot of you, if not all of you, when you buy clothes or cars or anything else, you would consume responsibly and think about the world you're creating through your investment. What imprint does it create? And if you buy or invest rooted in energetics of fear, you will then be saying yes to that way of doing things. Yes, it's okay to continue living and perpetuating this way. You will end up running your business and your life that way, unconsciously. So just notice the parts of your life, your business, if you have one, that you've been running from a place of fear, because you have been also choosing from a place of fear. Don't blame yourself for this now, or shame yourself back into the decisions and choices that you have or haven't made. Make a new choice right now. Run your business and your life consciously, just as you would consider the implications of your actions on this planet. And this is what this all is about, and this is where I'm going to close this training out. Acting in every single area of your life, especially with money, from trust over fear. And this is the tangible form of how this shows up for so many of you with money. This is the tangible form of how this shows up with so many of you for money, and you wonder why this happens. Herein, I hear a lot of people say, yes, but I need to pay the bills. Yes, but I need to pay the bill. Already assumes that what you have is limited and finite, and after you invest, you're not going to have multiplied your invested and created more. You're actually assuming the failure of the investment by saying, yes, but I need to pay the bills. Yes, but I don't have enough. Yes, but I can't. You're number one. You're already creating the timeline where you have no money client success in order to evolve up. And you're assuming and saying that your situation won't improve. Your language is powerful. If you say your situation won't improve as a result of you choosing to change it, then it won't. But if you say and speak that your situation will improve as a result of your new choice to change it, why would your situation not shift if you're choosing for it to? Think about this for a second. How is it possible energetically for your situation not to shift if you're choosing for it to? That's actually impossible if you act upon it. So rather than projecting blame onto other things, other people, why things aren't working, why not make a new choice? And from the place for a lot of you who are questioning and asking, what about the choices you've made? Choose from a potentiality of an ROI in your life, whether that's an actual return on investment or the return on investment is something, whether or not financially or otherwise. There's no ROI here. So why would you invest in the first place with something that has no ROI? You wouldn't invest in a stock or anything else with no return just because you feel excited about it. So why act differently in your life? But if you're clear on this has a clear ROI. All it requires is my trust and my yes. Then your situation has to change because you said it's going to. But the problem for many of you, which will continue to be long after this live concludes, long after you consume more of these trainings, and this is where I'm going to go into very real talk. Many of you will let fear keep you in inaction and not choosing yourself based on a sense of low worthiness. You don't trust yourself enough to choose correctly, just like what Andrea mentioned earlier and others have said. You don't trust, there's a wound there. So you're choosing to not trust yourself enough to choose correctly. It's not that you don't trust yourself, you're choosing, this is what you choose. You get to choose if you want to heal the relationship with yourself, trusting yourself. So choose yourself, choose to trust. But a lot of you don't trust yourself enough to choose correctly. So you either rush or you don't choose at all. And all of this does is it plays out a loop in your life of not trusting the feminine, really. And there are others of you that might take initial action, but you won't follow up with consistent action. And I've had a lot of clients who I would say this has played out. They take initial action. There are people right now, who will take initial action in their lives, but they won't take consistent action to follow up because they don't trust the masculine. So you keep looking for more information. This is real talk. There are lots of you who this might be true for you on this live. You keep looking for more information, more freebies, more free content, more opinions, and more advice, but you're not following through on what is already in front of you. So you're debating and you're in conflict and you're in procrastination, but you're not serving and you're inconsistent and you're staying small. And so as I said earlier, abundance within is the balance of the masculine and the feminine in terms of energy and embodiment. The key to creating abundance is to choose yourself from a place of absolute trust, trusting the feminine, and follow through with consistent action, trusting the masculine. And if you can master those two things, you enter into an energetic of abundance. This is for those of you, many of my clients and former clients, this is my entire work. It's about balancing the masculine and the feminine within to create an external field of abundance, whether that's through the business and your life. This is why I combine strategy and shadow work. Shadow work, the feminine, the waters, the darkness, turning that into the light, the masculine, the strategy, the creativity, and blending those two things together to not only create success, but even more importantly, fulfillment, balance, embodiment, being in the body and embodying it. And all of these things are recipes for financial success, obviously within the business. Yes. So there are a large handful of you, I don't know, I would say 15 maybe by now, somewhere like more than 10 to 15 of you who have reached out to me nearly every single day since I started these last two trainings and asked the same question. How do I work with you? How can I work with you? I created a group coaching program for those of you that are guided from your intuitive feminine, from your heart. You can feel this in your body. There's a resonance here. This is going to be about building your business, but it's going to be going through all these internal dynamics. It's a 4-month group coaching program. There are already people, I'm sharing this now because there are already people in this group who are paying and signing up for this program. We're already beginning. The group program is not going to start until September in terms of the group calls and launching off, but what it starts with is a 2-hour strategy session with me where we create a unique strategy for you, and then it's 4 months of accountability and implementation, going through this entire process of whatever arises in the journey to help you build your business, to help you actually bring forward with consistent action that which is inside of your heart and wants to come to life. So this is for coaches, this is for healers, this is for facilitators, this is for entrepreneurs, anybody who's in this group, and feels like this is the step you're going to take. I haven't shared this into the group at all yet. But this is what's happening organically and naturally. Is I have people reaching out, I have people signing up, people are joining the program. And so it's a blend of strategy and shadow work. And it's my intention for all of you to create $100,000 years. This is my vision. $100,000 years, 100,000 lives. This is my vision. $100,000 years, 100,000 lives. For every entrepreneur that I touch and I coach, to impact 100,000 lives through the perpetuity of their creations. Oh, Sonia's my client. You're so beautiful. Best investment ever. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are on here who have worked with me already. There are a lot of former clients and current clients on here. So for those of you who are interested, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to share the information into the group. I guess I probably will, so that more of you can read about this. I'm keeping the space limited and intimate. It's not. So I'm going to limit the number of people who come in like on a monthly basis. And why I'm doing that is because I'm doing a 2-hour I'm giving you a 2-hour strategy session for every single person. So as soon as you sign up, we schedule in a 2-hour strategy session. Then you enter into a group coaching container. You're gonna have a private app with the rest of the group for accountability and support in a lot of different ways. So I don't want to logically explain too much, because those of you who are feeling this yes in your bodies and are ready to take this forward, you already know. I don't want to market and sell this in a way that plays upon anything except for I know that you already know. And with that, the perfect people who are not just a match, who are also a match for me, will energetically enter into this space. I made this program very financially affordable. It was originally, I was going to beta price this lower. I actually am probably going to keep this pricing because I'm seeing this will be more affordable for people. So I ended up taking the pricing down $300 a month and made this so it's accessible for everybody. And so if you feel this in your heart, feel free to DM me, reach out to me. I will share. I think I'll just do another live in this group this week to share more information so that there's a concise container for explaining what this is. And I don't want people to feel like everybody didn't have an equal opportunity to join this. There are already people paying and signing up and taking these spots, so I want everybody to feel like here's the equal opportunity. My invitation, though, would be here's your chance. Here's your chance. I've never led. The last thing I did with Sonia and Lena and many others was a 9-month mastermind. I've turned this into a 4-month program. So I've never offered this opportunity to work with me in this way. And I promise you, let this be the opportunity for you to heal the relationship with yourself, to take the leap, to truly feel everything that we talked about in this live taken into tangible form, to bring a decisive action into tangible form. And I'm not saying that from a place of selling or marketing anything. I am 1,000% attached, financially secure, abundant, and living in overflow. I'm in a place of full trust. The people that want to come in, who are meant to receive this now and in this time, will join. No, Regina, I'm not going to do Sacred Light Mastermind again. No, I'm not. There will not be another 9-month mastermind. This is now the mastermind. This is the program. This group coaching program is the container. Yeah. So For those of you who are interested, there will be more information later in the week. For those of you who want to secure spots now, reach out and DM me. And then we can have a conversation, and I can share the actual details of the program and what it entails. And that's a little bit more on the logical side because it's written out in a document of what it actually looks like. We're going to do 3 group calls a month. You're going to have a private app on Slack for those of you that you have used. This is off of Facebook. This isn't going to be on Facebook, by the way. I was tired of doing the Facebook thing. So this is going to be fully on Slack, which is a private app. It has a private channel just for our group. And that has full messenger, like built-in messenger support built into it. It's 3 group calls a month. Is there a live retreat? That is a wonderful question, Marissa. Yes, I'm going to create a live retreat, but I'm not yet creating that because of COVID. So I'm focusing on this particular creation first. This is my priority. I'm actually doing something else with a live retreat that I'm not feeling guided to share because it's very, very private. It's not open to the public. So maybe I can have that conversation offline with you. It's not something that people are allowed to just buy into publicly. But it's a wonderful idea to offer that for the people that go through this accelerator, this group coaching program. So the answer to your question will be yes. We'll see what that piece looks like. I love that idea. I love being informed by ideas like that. And I loved that part of Sacred Light. So that's what I've got. For those of you who are interested in the group coaching program, reach out. You can comment below. You can send me a message. Like I said, I'll share more details and information later on in the week, probably on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And for those of you who are ready to catch the second part of this abundance training, same time next week, Sunday at 5 p.m. PST, I'm going to speak more specifically around bringing money into tangible form. And I'm going to bring real life examples in of like what this looks like, in my field. I'd also love to be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So I'm going to invite that during the group during the week. If you have particular questions, I'm actually really happy to answer them. So that being said, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. For those of you who shared comments, it was really moving. And you can probably feel each week as you enter in and participate in this way, it really, really drives these trainings to the next level. So I just want to give my gratitude. I want to give my gratitude for this space and just close this out and seal this with just the prayer that every single person in here continues to act from a place of pure decisiveness, pure trust, that the choice has already been made internally to go into the places that there might be fear, that there might be hesitation, but you've already said yes to it. And so I'm just giving gratitude. I'm acknowledging each and every one of you because in many ways you've already said yes to your commitments. You're already all in. You're already all in. You're already doing this. You're already rebuilding your relationship with trust. And I give grace and I give compassion and I give unconditional love to the parts of all of our hearts, myself included, which need a little bit of tenderness and grace and patience, that don't feel fully trusting. But I speak with every part of my being that I believe those parts. I believe those parts can be brought back into full trust again, full unconditional trust. And so I end in the same way. Abundance is just an external representation of trust work. How deeply do I trust? Anywhere it's not full trust, I go into that. The work we do here is to deepen that trust. So we're unapologetic and we're impenetrable, unwavering. Bless all of your hearts. Thank you so much. See you next week.